سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح، تنهد يا صاحي كي تستريح، وغص الدعاء الخفي.
Hey guys, how are you doing? Everything's great. Everything's going well. Today I want to talk about the most important topic that we have to understand, and it is repetition. Actually, I've searched about it a lot, and um, it was really interesting for me to understand it. Like, just to get just understand the impacts, the good effects of the repetition, right? And no matter what you learn, no matter you read book, no matter you learn English, no matter you learn Arabic language, no matter what you learn, what you read, and what you want to learn, for example, and exactly repetition is really important because repetition is the deep learning. It is a deep learning, and for example, the people who have this kind of habit or this kind of things in their brain that I'm learning English quickly, they don't repeat English. They don't repeat what they learned at the before in the past. I mean, and they don't repeat that when they don't repeat the topic or the things that they have learned in the before in the past. They can't learn English, and they don't actually learn the English deeply. For example, you have learned the topic about sport, right? And you have worked in that 3 days. After 3 days, you just stop it and you start the new topic, but you didn't learn it deeply. You didn't let's say master it to your brain, and if you didn't do it, like how can you stop and start a new topic, new thing? Exactly, you gotta repeat again. No, for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, right? And after learning it deeply, after learning it, after mastering it to your brain, to your mind, and after the knowing or the learning, the thing that you were trying to learn, uh, after that, when you start talking to yourself and you start doing self talk, for example in English, just really enjoy a lot because I've tried it, I've experienced that, and it was just great. Wallah, it was just great. For example, I also I advise you to learn English in the parks and in the nature, and no, not at home like that, or not at home just listening to audios, just not passive English, because the passive English is really boring and makes this path I don't know, uninteresting, really just awful. And when you start sorry, when you learn English in the nature, in the fresh air, in the fresh weather, sorry, and in the car, in the taxi, you are active, right? You are learning English actively, and it is the active English, and it is real English, right? And um, and after like that repeating it 2 weeks, and also you get fresh air, you just master your brain, and because the let's say your surrounding is really important, because if you are at home and you are passive, you're just still like that, you're lazy, you're just listening, just watching, just exactly, you don't have energy. You gotta act. You gotta act. You gotta, I don't know. You gotta be active. You gotta talk. You gotta I don't know, walk. You gotta do sport. If you're not active, if you don't have energy, like it's gonna be a little bit hard for you to learn English. And no matter what you learn, it's gonna be really hard for you to master it, to learn it deeply. And like I'm sure I was talking about the repetition, but it's also the most important factor for you to learn anything you want, and also the repetition. Yeah, when you repeat something for 3 weeks, and when you repeat something for a week, just I don't know for a week for 5 days, you're gonna see the differences between them. And for example, that you learn the topic about sport, you repeat it for 3 weeks, and then you talk to yourself, and you repeat you start to learn the topic about the sport, and you repeat it just for a week, and after just talking to yourself about it, just, I don't know, just do self talk about about the sport, about this topic. You're gonna see the differences between 3 weeks and the 1 week, because we repeat it for 3 weeks, and you mastered it to your brain. You just I don't know, you just memorized it, right? But when it just not memorize it, but sort of like um let's say uh you learned it deeply, right? You really learned it. But when it repeats something very vague, the topic about sport, and you may do some mistakes. You may say something by mistake, where you may have some mistakes, right? And yeah, you're gonna see the difference between the 3 week and 1 week, and and unfortunately, at our schools, we don't have this kind of method, because as I was growing up, I've never seen any English teacher who help us or who repeat us one topic, and just 3 week, 2 week, just for the lesson, for 2 lessons, maybe sometimes for 3 lessons. Then they start the new thing, new topic, new lesson, right? And that's why we can't learn the English at school. And as you see, we have been studying at school for 11 years. Can you imagine, for 11 years? At some schools we start English, we start learning English. Our the lessons about it, our English lessons start at our 6th grade, and no matter your 6th grade, 1st grade, like you learn. No matter it's 10 years, it's 11 years, right? You start 10th grade, you start in the 6th grade, or 1st grade, and okay, for 11 years, you just I don't know, you would be just great, you know, if we would have learned English for 11 years with right method, wallah billah, we would be just great. Just I don't know, we would be like like a native speaker. Can you imagine? You just I don't know, that everything's in English. You show your teacher in English. You hear everything. I don't know, thousands of time, thousands of time. I don't know, the hundreds of time. Can you imagine how great it is? Look at the babies, how they learn English. How do they learn English? Just think about it, please. Just imagine how you have learned your mother tongue, your own language. How'd you learn it? You learned it for 3 years, or for 4 years, 3 years, just with only listening. The same thing for a thousand of times, for 100 of times. And after 3 years, you are a native speaker, right? You're a native speaker. You know your mother tongue, and you call yourself a native speaker, right? And we just don't care that, or we don't never think about it, because you know why? Because the most people love to learn something so quickly, man. They don't have patience. They don't have, I don't know, they don't have real method. They don't have right method. They don't know what the real English is. They don't have information about it. That's why they go to these ways. They go to courses. They go to lessons. I don't know, the classes. They go to teachers. You don't need that, man. Yeah, you may need that just for 2 months, for 3 months. Just if you don't know anything, if you know nothing about English. I mean, if you know nothing, you can start just you can start with teacher for 3 months, or 2 months. After that, you can start the self-study method, the most enjoyable one, the most, I don't know, interesting one, just the best one. Let's say the best one. Okay, and today my purpose uh, was only talking about the English and the repetition, and just I try to paraphrase them and talk about them, and and just explain you how repetition has um, great effects, that great impacts, how beautiful effects it has on your English, right? When you start learning English, and I think that's all. Till here, it was I hope it was interesting because I always try to choose the interesting topics for you, and if you have any questions, you can write it, you can message, you can type it in the comment below. And I wish you all good things. I wish you luck. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you baraka. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you. And also, exactly, our dunya is important, but before that, our akhirah is more important. And try to have strong relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I invite you to Islam, to the most enjoyable, beautiful life, let's say. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I love you, bros and sisters, guys.
بشتى الصور أحب الوفي الأمين الأغر فأهل الوفاء